Welcome to another team match of Dragon Dice. Here we have the creatures from the Black Lagoon, played by the Goblins and Swamp Stalkers, versus Opua Pipi, which is being played by the Coral and Lava Elves. Now for the Horde roll, we'll roll all the Horde armies. It looks like the Swamp Stalkers and the Coral Elves have both rolled 6 maneuvers here. Not seen here is one of the dice that fell off the table. The Goblins got 2 maneuvers and the Lava Elves got 0. So the Coral Elves and Swamp Stalkers will need to roll off to see who will get to choose them going first or choosing the terrain. The Coral Elves have won the maneuver, and they have chosen to go first. So the Swamp Stalkers choose to have the Swampland Dragon Slayer as the frontier terrain. And then going first, the Coral Elves are going to send their Horde to the Goblin home and their Campaign to the Lava Elf home. So Campaign to the Lava Elves and Horde will come to the Goblin home. Then next up are the Swamp Stalkers. Swamp Stalkers will send their Campaign to the Frontier and the Horde to the Goblin home. So let's bring the Horde for this way. And this army to the Campaign. The Lava Elves will send their Campaign to the Goblin home. Making that quite a popular terrain to be at. And then the Horde to the Swampland, Swamp Stalkers home. Finally, the Goblins will send their Horde to the Lava Elf home. And Campaign to the Swamp Stalker home. Now for the initial terrain rolls. 6, that's going to be a very interesting terrain. 1, that's a good spot for some magic rolls. 4, 7 will drop down to 6, and the frontier is 1 magic. Coral Elves will take their first march to maneuver up to 2, and then missile attack the Swamp Stalker army. With 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 missile results. That's a pretty good roll. Then the Swamp Stalkers will roll for saves. Looks like just 3 saves out of all that. So 6 damage will be coming into the Swamp Stalker army. Swamp Stalkers will choose to lose a Mudman and a Ravager as casualties. And then for the second march, Coral Elves will make a melee attempt on the Goblin army. That looks pretty good. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 melee results. Goblins will roll to save. A couple of cantrips there. And 4, 6, 7 saves. So 7 saves and 8 cantrip. So let's see what cantrip spells they choose to cast. Goblins will cast 2 stone skins on their army, giving them 9 saves to take no damage. And they'll use the other 4 cantrip for 2 palsy on the Coral Elf army. And then they will make a counter attack. For more cantrip and regenerate. Regenerate won't do anything since there's no dead and he's not rolling to save. And then 4 melee. I'll let him choose his cantrip results in just a moment, and I expect he'll cast the palsy spells some more, but we will then roll the Coral Elves for saves. Let's see, no coastal dodge, so maneuvers will not count. They will have 6 saves, minus the palsies. The saves cannot go below 3 since the SAIs will not be subtracted from palsy. So if that 4 cantrip will be 2 more palsies on the Coral Elves. So 3 normal saves, minus 4 palsies is 0, plus 3 saves from fly is 3 saves total. So the Coral Elves will be taking 1 damage. Their little trooper will be killed, as that is the only 1 health unit in the army. The Coral Elves will retreat their 1 unit over here, and that will make it the Swamp Stalker's turn. Swamp Stalkers will start with their mutate ability. They have units dead, and they've got plenty of units at terrains, so they will target 1 unit in the Coral Elf Reserve Army. Rolling a maneuver, that is not a save, so this unit will be buried, allowing the Swamp Stalkers to promote a 1 health unit to their 2 health, or a 3 health unit to their monster. The Swamp Stalkers will promote their Deluger up to the Mudman, and then turn this terrain at the frontier up to 2. Oh wait, that's missile. They want to cast magic, so they won't maneuver, and they will cast magic. For 4 magic. The Swamp Stalkers will bring in 2 more palsies at the Coral Elf home. So let's go ahead and rotate this. I'd like to try and orient the cards to show which army has cast the spells. So there's 6 total palsies on the Coral Elves, 2 from the Swamp Stalkers and 4 from the Goblins. And then they will bring in a Phelan Village for their 2nd march at this terrain. Rolling the village icon. The Swamp Stalkers choose to take the missile face, and they'll do a melee action on the Coral Elves. Sorry, not a missile action, melee action on the Coral Elves with their 6 palsies in effect. Ooh, so we've got a wave roll plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 10 melee coming in. And Coral Elf save roll. That wave is not going to help. So 6 palsies and 4 wave, subtracting 10 results. Maneuver should not count as saves here. So we've got 3 saves, which are all negated by the palsy. So they'll be taking the full 10 damage. Looks like there will be 6 health of Coral Elves left after this. Coral Elves will take the 5 uncommon units as casualties. And with the 2 units remaining, they will make a counterattack roll. For 4 melee. But 4 melee, 6 palsy, that becomes 0. So no attack and no save roll is made. The Lava Elves will start their first march. They maneuver at their home terrain. Goblins oppose with 2 maneuver to the Lava Elves' 4 maneuver. So the maneuver is successful. Lava Elves will turn the terrain up to 7 and perform a melee attack on this lone goblin for opposing that maneuver. There's 4, 5 melee with only no saves at all, so this little goblin is dead. For their second march, they'll bring in the Deadlands Forest to the goblin home and get a missile result. So with that missile result, the Lava Elves will attempt a missile roll at the goblins. Let's see, it looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 results to save against, and they've got 2 stone skins. So the goblins will roll to save, trying to get 2 saves. Looks like they've got cantrip as well as 4 saves plus 2 from the stone skin, no damage. Goblins will cast 2 more stone skins on themselves, even though it's going to wear off very soon. Lava Elves will skip any sort of reserve movement, they'll stay where they are. So it is now the Goblins' turn. Goblins' turn, the stone skins expire, and the 4 palsies expire, leaving just 2 palsies from the Swamp Stalkers. For their first march, the Goblins will bring in a Deadland Woods at the Swamp Stalker home, getting the ID result, so they get their choice of result. The Goblins will choose a magic face, and then roll for magic. Getting 0 results. The Goblins will then try and maneuver their home, and they will face opposition in this maneuver. So no results from the Coral Elves. Lava Elves oppose with 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's pretty good. The Goblins get 1, 4, 5, 9, 10, 11. Wow, what a roll. They win it on the tie. The Goblins will maneuver this up to 7, and then they will melee attack the Coral Elves. For 4 smite, plus another 2, 5, 6, 7 melee. For the 4 smite, there's no other option than to take the Taco as a casualty. And then 7 melee, The rider is not going to be able to defend against that successfully, especially with the 2 palsy as well. 3 saves, no subtracts from the palsies, so he takes 4 damage and he still dies. That causes the palsy to expire since there's no longer an army here. Now, even if the army was not wiped out, with the goblin's racial ability and having a Deadlands in terrain in play, the Coral Elves would not have gotten a counterattack because they would have to leave out 1 unit per dead goblin. They have 1 dead goblin, the Deadland counts as 2 units, so that would be 3 units. The Coral Elves could not roll in a counterattack, and they only had 2. So even if they had survived that, they would not be able to counterattack. The Coral Elves will maneuver up at their home to 3, and they will cast magic. Sorry, not magic, missile. 4, 5, 6, 7 missile results at the Swamp Stalker army. So the Swamp Stalkers will be saving against 7 missile damage. And they get some good saves. 3, 6, 7 saves exactly. The Swamp Stalkers will start by maneuvering up to 2 missile at the frontier. And then they will missile attack the Lava Elf home. Looks like 0 results there. Next, the Swamp Stalkers will attempt to maneuver at the Goblin home. So first the Minor Train will be rolled to get double saves. That could be handy if this continues on for a while. The Lava Elves, of course, will oppose. They don't want to lose that 8. Let's see here. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 maneuvers for the Swamp Stalkers, and then 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10 for the Lava Elves. The maneuver has been opposed. With that, the Swamp Stalkers will perform a melee attack. With a sleep, poison, and 3 melee. First, the poison will target the 2 uncommon units. So we're looking for saves or they are killed. We've got save results and maneuvers with volcanic adaptation counts as saves. So we are safe from the poison. So next, we'll try to smother the monster. Lurker's looking for a maneuver, and there is the maneuver. So with that, the Lava Elves will then roll for saves against the 3 melee damage. That was some great saving against the 2 SAIs. And it looks like with saves, with all those maneuvers with volcanic adaptation, they definitely have the saves. End of the Swamp Stalker turn, they will retreat the frontier to the reserves and end their turn, making it the Lava Elves' turn. The Lava Elves will start by maneuvering their home up to an 8, a tower, and using the tower they will shoot at the Goblin home. They will fire at the goblins. So they have lots of melee that's useless, but some IDs, that's 8 points of IDs, which doubles at the 8th phase to 16 points. So goblins will roll for saves against the 16 missile damage. Does not look good for them. So they have 4 cantrip and 2 saves. Goblins will use the cantrip for 2 stone skins, giving them 4 total saves. But 4 saves against 16 damage is still 12 damage. So the magic casters will perish. That's 3 death mages and 3 tricksters, all going to the dead unit area. That leaves just a troll and 1 uncommon left at the terrain. Wait, slight change of plans. He will keep 2 of the casters to lose the 2-point unit. The Lava Elves will then attempt a maneuver at the Goblin home. So first, the Deadlands terrain will roll a melee. That won't help them at all here, but let's see how they do on this maneuver attempt. This could be the game. So Goblins don't have any maneuvers. The Swamp Stalkers, 4, 5 maneuvers. And finally the Elves, that's 2, 4, 5. 5 maneuvers to 5 maneuvers. It looks like the Lava Elves take it to the 8th phase for the win.